The hidden contracts, how your family karma shapes your destiny and awakening. We're born into families without choosing them, at least not consciously. But what if I told you that on a soul level, every family member in your life was chosen with surgical precision by your higher self before you even incarnated? Not for comfort, not for convenience, but for evolution. In this journey, we often imagine that spiritual enemies or allies are found in the world, somewhere far away, cloaked in mystery. But the deepest spiritual forces, both protective and destructive, often live under the same roof as we do. Your family is your first spiritual battlefield, your first sacred temple, your first karmic classroom. And within it, you will find your greatest protectors and potentially your most subtle destroyers. This video isn't about blame. It's about seeing clearly. Because once you understand the energy dynamics within your family, your spiritual growth accelerates beyond anything you thought possible. You start to see that every interaction was never random. It was coded. There are 7 signs, subtle, powerful, sometimes hard to accept, that reveal whether a family member is acting as a spiritual protector or destroyer in your life. These roles are not always conscious. In fact, most of the time, they don't even know they're doing it. That's why it's so easy to miss. A spiritual protector may not always feel warm or affirming. They might challenge you, push you, test you. A spiritual destroyer may not seem evil at all. They might smile, praise you, and still energetically drain every ounce of clarity from your path. The first sign is this. How do you feel energetically after spending time with them? Not emotionally, energetically. There are some people in your family who, after just a 5-minute conversation, make you feel more powerful, more centered, more you. That's a spiritual protector. And then there are others who, even in silence, leave you feeling confused, small, or spiritually lost. That's a destroyer, whether they know it or not. Energy doesn't lie. Vibration doesn't lie. You must learn to trust your field more than your conditioning. The second sign is frequency sabotage. Pay attention to how your energy shifts when you share your truth. When you speak about a dream, a vision, a calling, do they reflect it back with presence and curiosity? Or do they subtly mock it, ignore it, or redirect the conversation to something superficial or fear-based? A spiritual protector may not understand your path, but they will respect your right to walk it. A destroyer will consistently, almost ritualistically, bring you back down to the old version of yourself. Not always with cruel words, but with energy, with silence, with a look, with a passive comment that triggers your oldest wounds. They may remind you who you used to be. They'll say, "Don't forget where you came from." But what they really mean is, "Don't grow beyond the version of you I'm comfortable with." And here's the painful truth. Sometimes the people who raised you are the very ones who unconsciously hold the blueprint for your spiritual stagnation. Not because they're evil, but because your evolution threatens their identity. The third sign is memory distortion. This one is so subtle it often goes unnoticed for years. A spiritual destroyer will reframe the past in a way that keeps you disempowered. They will remind you of moments where you failed, but forget the moments you rose. They'll retell stories in a way that centers your weakness and their strength. They warp memory, not maliciously, but energetically, to keep a hierarchy in place where you remain dependent, apologetic, or unsure. Why? Because your liberation destabilizes the unspoken structure they've built their self-worth on. On the other hand, a spiritual protector will hold your true story even when you forget it. They will remind you of your strength, your light, your essence, not because they need you to succeed for their ego, but because your success is their joy. They celebrate your becoming. They don't compete with it. Ask yourself right now, Who in your family reflects your light back to you, and who only seems to mirror your shadow? The fourth sign is emotional gaslighting disguised as love. This is the destroyer's most common mask. They will say they love you, but their version of love is control. Their version of love is guilt. Their version of love is conditional safety. They will say, "I'm just worried about you," but what they're really saying is, "Don't trust yourself." They will say, "I just want what's best for you," but what they're really saying is, "What's best is what I can understand." This kind of love is not love. It's fear dressed up as care. It's a slow erosion of your inner voice. It's spiritual decay masked as family concern. A spiritual protector, by contrast, will hold space for your evolution even when it scares them. They will choose your freedom over their comfort. They will allow you to walk into uncertainty, even if it means you walk away from the family's old patterns, roles, and expectations. That is real love. That is spiritual protection in action. So I ask you, who lets you change and who needs you to stay the same in order for them to feel safe? The fifth sign, and this one may be the most important, is how they respond to your boundaries. Because boundaries are the language of self-respect, and self-respect is the birth cry of spiritual awakening. A protector will respect your boundaries even when they don't like them. They will adjust. They will reflect. They may not get it at first, but they will try. A destroyer will mock your boundaries, ignore them, or weaponize them. They will say things like, "You've changed," or "You think you're better than us now." But what they're really saying is, "Your sovereignty disrupts the control I was used to having." When you set a boundary, you are declaring your field sacred. You are telling the universe, "I remember who I am," and those who are meant to walk with you, protector or not, will feel that declaration and rise to meet it. Those who are not will fall away or fight it. And sometimes the greatest act of spiritual maturity is letting them. Breaking the bloodline spell, transcending generational programs without losing your soul. There's something most people never consider. Before we were born, we entered into soul contracts with our family members. These weren't random assignments. They were intentional, sacred, and often karmic. A soul contract isn't about comfort, it's about evolution. We chose some family members because they would protect our spiritual fire when we were too young to understand it. But we also chose others to be the catalysts, the friction needed to ignite that very fire. These are the destroyers, not in the Hollywood sense of villains, but in the ancient spiritual sense. The ones who unconsciously try to keep you locked in an outdated version of yourself because your liberation threatens the foundation of their identity. Every spiritual destroyer in your family is secretly carrying unresolved pain that they've buried so deep they don't even know it's there. And when you start healing, growing, remembering who you are, you shine a light on their shadow. That light is uncomfortable. That light forces a choice. And many will choose to reject the light rather than confront their inner wound. That's not your fault, but it is your initiation. Here's the sixth sign, the frequency of guilt. A spiritual destroyer will often use guilt as their primary tool. Guilt is a powerful energetic weapon. It keeps you doubting your decisions, questioning your worth, and tethered to outdated roles. Think of how often you've been made to feel guilty for setting a boundary, choosing yourself, or evolving beyond a toxic pattern. They'll say, "After everything I've done for you," they'll remind you of sacrifices, obligations, expectations, but never in a way that empowers your path. No, the guilt is designed to keep you small. It keeps you emotionally indebted to a system that is afraid of your freedom. But here's the deeper truth. You don't owe anyone your light. You don't need to shrink to ease another's discomfort. Guilt is not love. it's control. And while protectors may feel sad when you change, they will never guilt you for it. They will feel the pain of letting go, but they will honor you anyway, because their love is rooted in soul, not ego. They want your wings to expand, not fold. Let's ask a question that might change your life. What if your family isn't here to be your home, but your mirror? What if their role in your life is not to make you comfortable, but to help you remember what you truly are? That doesn't mean they're always right. In fact, many of them will reflect back to you what needs to be healed, not what's already whole. But even that is a gift. A destroyer in the grand design is still part of your awakening. The moment you recognize the pattern, the cycle, the energetic loop, you gain the power to break it. You stop replaying the role you were assigned. You stop participating in the dance of dysfunction. And in that moment, something wild happens. You reclaim your spiritual authority. You realize that forgiveness is not weakness, it's liberation. Not for them, for you. You don't forgive to excuse. You forgive to cut the cord. You forgive to reclaim your energy. Because carrying resentment is like drinking poison and expecting them to suffer. You are here to heal, not harbor. The seventh and final sign is very subtle, but absolutely life-altering. The reaction to your spiritual truth. As you awaken, your energy begins to change. You speak differently. You think differently. You're drawn to new ideas, new teachings, new frequencies. You begin to see life through a multidimensional lens. And some family members will respond with curiosity, even if they don't understand. That's a protector. Others will respond with mockery, dismissal, or even fear. That's a destroyer. But don't be fooled. This isn't about religion or belief systems. It's about energetic resonance. Your vibration will either harmonize with theirs or disturb the field. And those whose identities are built around the old paradigm will feel threatened by your rise, even if they don't know why. So they'll try to pull you back, not always out of malice, but out of fear. Your truth disrupts their illusion. And when that happens, you are faced with a choice. Do you dim your light to keep the peace? Or do you let your light shine and transform everything around you? I'm going to say something now that only those who are ready will understand. You are not responsible for your family's awakening. You can plant seeds, you can hold space, you can love them deeply, but you cannot carry their karma. You cannot walk their path. You cannot force them to see what they're not ready to see. And that's okay. Your job is to remember who you are, even if they forget. Your mission is to become the version of yourself that your ancestors could only dream of. You are the breaker of chains, the healer of wounds, the light in the bloodline. And that means you will often feel alone. But that loneliness is sacred. It means you are walking a path no one has walked before. It means you are doing the inner work that will ripple across generations. And one day, whether in this life or another, your family will look back, not with judgment, but with awe, because they will realize that your courage to awaken wasn't rebellion, it was revelation. Breaking the bloodline spell, transcending generational programs without losing your soul. Let's talk about spells, not the kind with potions and wands, but the kind that are spoken through generations, buried in silence and cast through repetition. Every family carries them. These are the bloodline programs, the unconscious beliefs, emotional patterns, and energetic contracts passed down like heirlooms. We don't talk about our pain. Success is selfish. You have to suffer to be worthy. This is just how we are. These are the silent spells that shape lives, limit potential, and block awakening. And unless we break them, we repeat them blindly. You were not born to repeat the patterns of your ancestors. You were born to transcend them. That is the sacred role of the awakened one in the family line. But here's the truth. That role is not glamorous. It's gritty. It's lonely. It's exhausting. You will be misunderstood. You will be criticized. You will be scapegoated. Because when you decide to end a cycle that has been running for centuries, you become the disruption. You become the anomaly. You become the light that exposes what others were taught to hide. There is a deep spiritual courage required to say, "The pain ends with me." To look your lineage in the eye and say, "I will not pass this forward." Most people think that spiritual awakening is about angels, crystals, or astral travel. But real awakening, it's about facing your family's deepest pain and refusing to continue the cycle. It's about feeling the weight of unspoken grief, ancestral shame, and generational fear, and choosing not to carry it anymore. It's about choosing healing over harmony, truth over tolerance, growth over guilt. And that often means becoming the outsider, the black sheep, the one who says no more when everyone else says this is how it's always been. Can you still love your family while breaking free from their patterns? Can you be loyal to your soul when your bloodline demands loyalty to dysfunction? That is the sacred fire every awakened soul must walk through. And if you're watching this, you're already in it. Transcending generational programs doesn't mean cutting everyone off or judging the people who raised you. It means seeing clearly. It means moving from unconscious loyalty to conscious love. You begin to recognize that your mother's anxiety wasn't personal. It was the echo of her mother's trauma. Your father's emotional distance wasn't rejection. It was a survival mechanism inherited from generations that never knew safety. You stop blaming and you start understanding. You stop expecting and you start accepting. But you also stop participating. You no longer sacrifice your truth to avoid discomfort. You no longer betray your intuition to maintain peace. You realize that compassion without boundaries is not love, it's self-abandonment. And so you love them enough to walk away when necessary. You love them enough to let them be who they are. But you love yourself enough to become who you're meant to be. Let me tell you something no one else will. The moment you start to awaken, your family's shadow will rise to meet you. This is not a sign of failure. It's confirmation. When you begin to shift your frequency, the old system will resist. Not because they hate you, but because your evolution activates their suppressed pain. You become the mirror they didn't ask for. And mirrors are uncomfortable. They show everything. So they'll try to pull you back. They'll accuse, dismiss, ignore, or even attack. Don't take it personally. Their reaction isn't about you. It's about what your light reveals in them. If they loved you conditionally before, they'll withhold love now. If they controlled you before, they'll tighten their grip now. If they ignored you before, they'll try to erase your new identity now. But don't flinch, don't shrink, don't apologize. Because the moment you start apologizing for your light, you start dimming it. And you didn't wake up to go back to sleep. So how do you walk this path without losing your soul? You root yourself in inner truth. You surround yourself with chosen family, those who see your light, not your label. You do the inner work, therapy, meditation, breath work, shadow integration, not just for you, but for every ancestor who never had the chance. You hold yourself in moments of grief, knowing that you are grieving not just your own story, but the untold stories of your bloodline. You release the need to be understood by those who refuse to see. And most of all, you choose yourself again and again, because choosing yourself is choosing the divine. And the more you choose your truth, the more you become a lighthouse for others who are still lost in the storm. Let's be clear, some family members will grow with you. Some will awaken. Some will ask questions, open up, shift. These are your protectors. They may not have the language for it, but their souls recognize yours. They cheer you on in quiet ways. They hold space when you cry. They don't always understand your path, but they don't block it. Honor them, love them, keep them close. Because in a world full of unconscious destroyers, a conscious protector is sacred. But others won't come with you. They'll resist, mock, or try to shame you into submission. Let them go. Not with hatred, but with clarity. You're not abandoning them. You're honoring the part of them that might awaken in another life, another time. But this life, this one is yours, and you don't owe anyone your stagnation. So I leave you with this. Who are you becoming when no one is watching? Who are you when the family roles dissolve, when the labels fall away, and only your soul remains? That is the real you. That is the one who chose this family, this timeline, this mission. And that version of you, pure, wild, divine, is the one the world has been waiting for. You are not here to please your family. You are here to liberate your lineage. You are not here to be loved in small ways. You are here to love yourself in the biggest way possible. And the moment you do, the spell breaks. The cycle ends. The light returns. And a new reality begins, not just for you, but for everyone who came before you and everyone who will come after.